Good morning everyone, welcome back to my channel. So stitched Botanical Beauties. November, we have a new flower, new prompt, and the flower, if you can't guess already, I really want to play with my yellows and oranges. And I racked my brain, what flower would I use? I thought about daffodils, I thought about daisies, and I settled on sunflower. Now I've never stitched a sunflower before. I sort of, in my mind, in previous projects, I've sort of put them in it's a very simple flower. So I haven't really picked it to be a feature on anything. So I'm pretty excited to try it. And I think with this technique of layering fabrics and textiles to build up the flower as such, more so than stitch, I think it's perfect to have a play with. So that's the plan. I'll just put my little name tag to one side. Actually, I might pin it on my pincushion because otherwise it will get lost. So the fabrics I'm going to use are from the gorgeous Tim Holtz collection, which is pretty much what this whole series has been about. And I think the last video I showed you the yellows and the oranges and maybe a turquoise. I can't remember. Anyway, they have been in the back of my mind. So what I want to do, I also stitched the little green mark on all of my little snowdrops. So that is completed. Thanks for reminding me. A few of you spotted it and said, you haven't stitched it. And I'm like, of course I did. And then I went and had a look. I'm like, oh, no, I didn't. Got myself a piece of batting. That's my support underneath my fabric. You don't have to use that. If you're new to all this business and you're wondering, well, what do I do and how do I do it? You do whatever you feel like doing. And I pretty much do put a piece under my top fabric because I think it's more about the thickness for me. Probably not so much the stability of my piece. I probably haven't put that much thought into it. You know, bullet a gate, in we go. I'm hoping that that fits. Oh yeah, it does. Now the sunflower will be pretty much there. So I might make it so that it's down the bottom. I like the stripe. So it'd be a shame to lose it in the construction of my piece. Measurements, not likely. Just chop it. Okay. For sure my pages are going to be bigger than the journal cover, but I'm okay with that because I just go with the flow. Whatever. The piece is not going to end up in the Smithsonian or a bookmaker's convention somewhere to be critiqued for skill and technique. Hope not. Never. So this is the back. So let's just get that centered. Now I would then look at invisible stitching that so it all becomes one. But for speed of work, I'm just going to pop, oh, see, look, of all the pins I pick up, it's the one with the sunflower on it. So I've actually got some yellow, well, a yellow iris coming out in amongst my bulbs. I've got some bulbs in my garden, and being that spring is rolling through at the moment, they're all flowering. And the irises that are purple are spectacular. And I've taken a little bit of footage of them, but for a rainy day, you'll see that. But the yellow one and the white one, they look a little, I don't know, I just, whether those colours aren't as robust. Because I remember when I bought the bulbs, look at how crooked that is. When I bought the bulbs, I grabbed a pack of the purple blue iris and a bulb pack which was mixed. That, look, I did it again, seriously. Those flowers have been a little bit, how would you say, deformed looking. So I'm wondering if the classic iris, the purple, is just a stronger plant. I know as it grew very vigorously, where the others that were the mixed bag of colours, Their leaves, their stalk, everything's just that little bit scrawnier. And I can see it in the blossoms. Being that yellow is our colour, when I finish this, I'll go out and film that yellow iris, and I'll show you what I mean. The white one is long gone. Like, I've been watching these flowers roll through for a month and a half now. And, yeah, it's, disintegrating. So, sunflower, classic sunflower, big centre, and then the little leaves, the little petals. The leaves are quite chunky. Being a farm kid, we never grew sunflowers, but if I ever got the seeds or was given the seeds, I was very quick to put them in the garden. So I sort of have a bit of an experience with them horticulturally. I'm going to put the sunflower off centre. I'm just going to have it peeking in. I don't want it to be the big centerpiece. I'm going to have a little bit of a play with, do I do it here? Depends where it goes in the book. Does it really matter? Not really. I might put it this way and then it could go into the spine. Does it really matter? No, I feel like I want to go this way. All right, we need a circle. They've got a very big centre. And that needs to be chocolate tones. I don't know if I've got chocolate tones in amongst the Tim Holtz things. So I may need to go further afoot to get something to denote that. But the petals... Oh, actually, I was going to show you this too. Sunflower, tiny, itty-bitty sunflower. Look at him. That's not much help to us, is it? Other than look at all where all the little seeds are. So, yeah, I think you could easily find yourself a sunflower. If you put into Google free sunflower sketch, you should find, something of interest. Now, petals. I want to make them random and chunky, not just that classic sunflower. So I'm just going to do a bit of sketching. I think it'll help get me in the frame of mind. And then I'm going to freeform cut the fabrics to suit. But I guess I just want to know scale. Once I know sizing, yes, and here's the fudge. Once I know size and proportions of the piece, I think then I'll be able to just, chop away. I'm going to do a double layer of petals. I may even do 3 layers of petals. So let's just give ourselves some form of guide. I want to make them a little bit more fluid than that. They're such a grand flower. I used to be mesmerised by them as a child as they changed the sun. I remember when that was pointed out to me by my parents. It was just one of those plants that you felt like it was behaving literally in front of your eyes. And I know a few of my neighbourhood farmers would put the odd crop of sunflowers in, and you'd drive past them and they'd be facing towards the sun in the morning. Then you come home at the end of your school day and they had shifted their heads to face the sun on the west as it was setting, and it's just beautiful. The area I grew up was not a big sunflower area. It was lots of other crops, but not really sunflowers. I'm not sure why. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. We'll just layer petals up. That can't be too hard. Okay, now the centre. We probably should get that into position because these petals then would pop under them. Let's have a quick look through our little bag of Tim Holtz here. Oh, there's a chocolatey, it's not really chocolate, it's charcoal. that's a good start. Doesn't have to be brown. We are breaking rules with this piece. Oh, I don't mind that. Oh, I like that. See, I don't mind that. I don't know why. Could use a bit of that. Well, there you go. Here I thought I'd need something, but Tim has provided. Aren't they just beautiful? I've had a delivery too of some more. So those of you who have, I like that, the greeny colour. Those of you who've subscribed to the fabric program would have received, there's sunflowers on that, nope, would have received your delivery. Mine are sitting just here, and I'll open them properly on the next video, but it'll give you a hint of what's coming. Look at that. Isn't it just beautiful? Blues and purples. But I want to save it for the next video, so we're not going to open that. We're just going to put it to one side and save it. Sorry. If you want to see the colours and the fabric range, just pop it into Google. Oh, look, if that's not a sunflower centre, I think we can do something with that. Look at the cogs. Something else I probably need to consider is the leaves, because it'd be nice to have some coming out the back of the sunflower. So I'm just going to pinch myself out a piece of this chocolate fabric. Don't cut the background. Oh, that was a close call, girl. And let's get this laid in. As for the background and the trimmings, I'm just going to hold this time. I'm going to get stuck into the sunflower because it is a mammoth of a flower. So I sort of feel like there may not be a lot of room left for all of that extra background work. So I'm just eyeballing a bit of a shape. Okay, there's our sunflower centre. If that's not sunflowery, nothing is. We might pop a pin in that, girl. Where's my pins? Now, do we want to get a bit stylised? Of course we do. Let's have a play with some of these other colours. We've got road maps, cogs. I wonder if I fold that over. That would give a nice, interesting, oh yeah, let's do that. I was just about to trim it off. That'll give a nice, interesting edge to a page. Well, when this goes in the journal, this will definitely be on the outer edge of a page, because we've just, look, seriously, go away. Okay, so consider that stitched down, and we've got a rolled edge there. I like that. Okay, let's layer this up with a little bit of interest. I like you. You're muddy. Let's do a few more muddy. What type of shapes are we doing? I don't know. What are we doing? I might cut a rectangle first. And maybe we do a bit of a roundish shape and nestle it in like so. And then taper it and taper it. I just feel like we could get us a little bit interesting with our colour. I'm not going to stitch the seeds. You can if you want. I'm going to just use the fabrics to give us the feeling that, you know, that we know that there are seeds in this flower. That's enough of that one. Let's have a play with this one. It's just, I'm just cutting here. Sorry guys, you're out of shot there for a moment. It's just free form textile collaging. I've just had a coffee and I can feel that coffee hot rush. I need to probably layer that a little bit more. It feels a bit too mechanical. Wonder if I could bring a bit of Hessian into it. Wonder if I'd be a little bit more abstract and not follow the ring of the flower. Get this in. I know it doesn't suit like sunflowers, but I really like it. Really like that. Oh goodness, isn't that pretty? Do we be random and fussy cut it on? Just because we can. Remember, these are very stylized. I'm thinking I'm going to fussy cut some flowers into the center of my sunflower. That was not thought to be planned. If you want to stitch the seeds, go your hardest, but I'm not going to. I want to play with making the center feel interesting, but without being a classic sunflower. Okay, let's get this as fine as we can because it'll look really pretty if it's quite delicate instead of just a blob. Gaz has just appeared at my door, giving me the thumbs up, you're filming, I'm going to go outside and watch pinball podcasts. It's Saturday morning here, and Friday night the pinball crowd start their YouTubing and Twitching and live streaming and all of that, and so there's always shenanigans to catch up on. I like that. I love it. I love it. So I do believe I have my background. I did say the word Hessian. Let me pause the video and grab some Hessian. I just feel like we could be a bit more textured. Won't be a moment, guys. Okay, I've got this. I picked it up at a thrift store and I'm thinking I could use this. Now, actually, do we put just a slither of it on? I might need to even grab my glue because this stuff tends to break down and fray pretty easily. What about that? Just to feel like it's, I feel like I need a piece there, so I need to curve it that way. And I'll pop you in there. Yeah, I like that. We've got something happening that feels a bit interesting. Sort of feel like I could put something across there. Do I bring a bit of this green in? No, I'm going to save them. I think I'll do something with them for the leaves. Maybe. I don't know. Let's just get a bit of a tidy up happening because I think that's where I want to be. So what I might do is grab my trusty art glitter glue and just adhere down some of these surfaces. I think it's, I won't turn the camera off because it's close. Hang on one moment. I was just passing this fabric too. That was sitting out. I've been filming my Christmas project, my Christmas runner. So I was starting to play with some of these types of fabrics. So I wonder, oh, look at that. Wouldn't that make a great textured sunflower petal? Let's just remove that. Fold that up. Oh, look, there's another piece. Okay. I know my petals, I want to drift between the tones of bright classic sunflower yellow and then potentially bring in some of the oranges. Yeah, now it's getting interesting. So I'm just going to add a few slithers of this. Now all of that frays really easily. So I'm just going to add a bit of stabilizer, if you want, for a better word, where they're just held. Like I said, I'll come back with invisible stitch to get everything down. But till then, this will save me putting in a heap of pins. I think when you're doing this type of collaging, it doesn't hurt to start bringing in things other than pins, because, I don't know, I find collaging, I'm quite quick in my process. So I could have layer upon layer of pins, which I've done in the past. I've gone to sit and stitch previous projects and there's dead set pins trapped in under layers. And I've been stitching away going, oh, what just bit me? And it was a pin from an earlier layer. So I'm definitely tending towards more of this technique to stabilize it. And it's the tiniest amount. So it's not going to interfere with my stitching. It's not like I'm coating the whole piece with glue, which I think would happen if you use those Soline Quilters glue sticks. I tend to don't use those. I did a lot when I was English paper piecing fabric onto templates, but I tired of it. If you've watched my hexagon quilt process, you'll see I'm tired of a few techniques, but I've tried them all. There we go. That to me is not going to fray and is not going to wriggle. Oh, I love it. Yeah, I love it. And you know what I think makes it is because I've folded it over the edge. It's given it a bit of bulk on that edge. So it sort of feels like it is literally continuing. So I put my stopper in. See, I automatically cover it with my finger because this glue dries really quickly. So I'm going to leave those there because I wonder if we can pull them into the layering. Right. Let's get to the fun stuff. The petals. Oh my goodness, look at them. I'm going to start with this. It feels like it could be a background petal, being it's darker, especially it's flipping through the colours here. Let's do a sunflower shape and see if our scale's right. And like I said, I'm just going to cut it. I don't want to overthink it. I want it just to slide on in. There we go, one. Let's do another one that's a good size. And now that I've cut one out, in a rectangular shape, I can sort of see my line. So I might move it along a fraction because I could get then a second one coming out. And just free form. I'm allowing a little extra to tuck under the center as well. And see how I've cut that. I'm trying to like maximize my fabrics. I can come back through here and pinch out a smaller one. So what I might do, just to keep ourselves focused on just that, I'm going to cut a strip off of this. I think that's the best approach. Is I've now got a band, so I can sneak through, trimming out my petals. Now these little petals are going to have a point. So if there was anything that needed stabilizing with that art glitter glue, this potentially would be it. I'll put that down the bottom. I think we've got a sunflower happening. Don't worry too much about the shape of your petals. I think the main thing to remember is you get this swishy little end to it, like the tip, because they are very distinctively, you know, shaped. Like you can spot a sunflower at 20 paces, even if a child's drawn it. Keep them quite big, Corrine, because your fabric is quite heavy in tone. So we want to get them building up the background. Now coming back, I'll leave that. That gets quite light, so I might even come out here and get smaller ones. So I'm just going to separate that and come back through and pinch a few more petals, maybe a smaller size because that's all we've got in the way of space. I may not even need all of these, but in my head I want the sunflower to be exaggerated and bold and layered, considering we've really done that with all of the other things, all the other flowers. So I've got some spares, smaller scale, and I can go smaller. Let's grab one. I think I can get one out of here as well. I'm finding it quite interesting that as I think about flowers for each month's prompt, the memories that are coming with them, flowers are really, they really do evoke memories, don't they? Okay, we've had enough of that. Let's have a look at some of these others. I'd be tempted to pull a little bit of this out. I might just trim a bit of that map out. That will create a bit of difference. I don't want to chop into those yet. They're sort of more dealing with the artwork around. What do I mean by that? Let me just show you. All of this, the colour palette that went into the piece. I think that's going to be my second video. I feel like this sunflower really needs to be pulled together first. Oh, here we go. It's the sister to that, but I don't think I need them as big. I'm just going to, what am I going to do? See, I like that dark. I don't want it too dark. Otherwise I'll end up with it so moody I won't get to the brights. which is what classic sunflower, like that. To me, that's sunflower. Anyway, that's where we're heading. The top layer of petals can be that. So let's get a few out of here. I think these will be interesting. Yes. Need something in the back there. I think I could go quite dark. Or do I just bring you in again? No, I think I need a different tone. Is there anything over here that I've overlooked that could give me that? Not really. What if I go back to this fabric and go into that here? Let's see what this would look like as a petal way back, because it's got that charcoal muddy feel. He goes back here. Yes, that's what we needed, just to break it up a little bit. Now, let's pop on the front there a petal in this tone. Start bringing in those golden touches. There we go. All right, so let's find the muddy one again. So we're starting to get a bit of a, or a map, a bit of a system. I think once you start building your layers in one location, I know I put those all everywhere, but I think once you get your big base colour in, like my orange is for me, then come back through and just work on one spot, because that's going to quickly tell you how it's going to flow. So I think I would then back here, instead of going that darker one, I'm going to go this guy, leave a gap out of my rectangle to potentially get another petal. And we will lift that and slide that into there, like so. So then maybe one of these little ones, we could be cheeky and get him in there, but he will look like a big one. No, see how it's too blendy? I feel like I do need to separate them. That's interesting. So I'm going to bring that a little closer. That a little over, and then what I might do is out of that little bit try and get another petal to layer in here. Just to bring a little bit of that brightness in. We haven't even got to this guy. Now this guy, because he's so bright, my feeling is they're going to be little and they're going to be high. What I mean by that is the sun is coming from this angle. So we can get quite dark and moody down here, but up the top here, we can start playing with the brighter colours. Like so. Yep. Now, let's bring a little bit of that there. And then we can do, spin it around so I maximise my fabric. We could bring you in the top here. And then maybe a map again. Loving this map. Tim Holtz fabrics definitely have a bit of a grunge colour palette to them. So I'm really enjoying that. Oh, I love that movement. See how the fabric is flicking around. You probably can't see the dimension as much as I can. See how it's curling? See, that makes me think that when I stitch this all down, I don't stitch, densely stitch. I let the fabrics move a little bit. Just going to trim that a little. This little guy is going to slide in there. Love it. Might do another bright petal because we're still heading up the top here. We'll come from that bottom. Yeah, maybe I just place a few key stitches. I sort of feel like chocolate thread needs to come into this, pick up on this dirty. Let's get a grungy one up there. I haven't done him again. Grungy yellow. Honestly, I don't know when I would use these fabrics other than doing this type of thing. I couldn't see me making a quilt or anything like that out of them. They're, that's only a little piece. I'm going to tuck it in the back there and give the impression that he's holding his own up there, but he's clearly not. I think we could handle an orange one. Yeah, I just don't think I'd use these in a quilt. If anything, they're just good to have literally slow stitch collaging because it's a different colour palette from the, you know, the tones you'd probably go to normally. I think I need a bit of map. So I've used 1, 2, 3, 4 different fabrics. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so if you're still watching and you haven't gone to the stash, just cutting out another bit of map. I'll probably pick 4. Unless I start playing with another colour. Because I did say out aloud, chocolate feels like it needs to come into this. You are a very grand flower. Oh my goodness. I'm now just going to pop a couple little pins around. I'd hate to pick it up because I'm getting excited and it flicks everywhere. So I'm just going to stabilise it a little bit. All right. So let's have a look down here. I've still got a couple oranges. Can do a couple map ones. That's all scrap. Well, that's not a scrap. That could be something. Let's just pinch a little petal out of you. It's not as orange. It's very text orientated. But I'm okay with that because they can... Where's my pin gone? They can peek in. Sort of feels like it could come down here just as a little guy. Okay, let's go again. Let's get some big orange guys down. The other thing I said a little while back was leaves. And we probably need to consider them as well. Going to need more of the orange, but can I fake it? I think I can. Let's get a little bit more map out. Let's try and get 2 out of this. If I remember rightly, the leaves are quite grand. They're very big. My sunflower's very big. Maybe my leaves have to be ginormous. I don't think so. We might just sort of, I don't know, plume them out somehow. Let's get a grungy leaf out next. Just one thing at a time, girl. I think it's because I feel like this is nutted out and it just needs to be installed, that my head's gone now thinking about the leaves. But we need to just, as Gaz would say, take a chill pill. Okay. Let's get a bit of light, just a little bit down here. There's a scrap. Well, I hope you have fun with your sunflower. They are a very, very happy flower. Is that just me? I think they are. Oh, love how that just curls up. I've got to leave some up in the air. I feel like my stitching is actually going to be invisible stitched, to be honest. That's tiny scrap, but I feel like we could pinch a little petal. Like just lift that up, lay you in. Just getting some detail. Like even that is just such a tiny bit, but I feel like we could utilise that. There's another tiny orange bit there. I think the more layers of petals you put on this piece, the more gorgeous it's going to feel. Especially when you get close to the centre of the actual seed head, there's all these fine little petals, right, really little petals. So I think if we're going to make this feel like a sunflower, we need to get down to, you know, the size of your fingernail and a bit in layers. I just feel like that will really help. Oh, love it. Okay. I'm going to fill in this area. Might start with a bit of this. Won't need much more, so I'll just nibble off that. That'll just get me out there a little bit. And then maybe an orange one. I'm running out of fabrics. I think we could pop, oh, that's nice and orange. Remember, it can be a bit darker down here too. So we can make it moody. Little ones peeking through. Now I need to soften that. So that's where This script one could come on top of that one I just put in. Yep. Then we might do a little guy in the bright yellow. Don't have many little scraps left sitting here to the side. We'll get another one out of that. This is going to be interesting to stitch because there's a lot happening here. It could be trouble. There'll be sunflower petals laying everywhere in my lounge room. No, should be right. What I will do, like I said, is go through with that glue and just make sure, is there any more script ones that I could pull out of those? Make sure it's anchored to some degree. Tiniest little bit, but I think that's going to help. Now I'm just popping a few pins in. Just to, I need something down there. I can see a little bit of yellow fabric here, so let's use it. It's amazing the different effects you can get with layering. Got a little bit more of this, so I might make some itty bitty. Oh, I know. What if we were to have them look like they're coming onto, like they go under there, but bend onto there. Oh, yeah. Oh, we're getting fancy now. So what I've done is I've pushed it under the center of the brown and bent it up and over the edge of it. Finish your sentences. So I've cut myself quite a long petal so that there's enough to go right sides together. Tuck it under as we've been doing. But then bring that petal, let me zoom in. So these are my curl up onto the center of the flower. So he's right sides together, tucked under, and then stitched. So we're getting a petal that is coming into the center. Does that make sense? I've got any more scraps here we can use? Here we go. Let's get a little bit out of this guy. So we'll do right sides together, grab a pin, get rid of all the scraps, come down there and turn him over in like so. I think it just breaks the line of the flower up, and in nature they tend to flip around a bit, these petals, and getting that dimension is something that's, I think, would help with the, I guess, the eye or the brain going, yep, that's a sunflower, and it looks three-dimensional. So there's a little one there. That's probably all I'd do. There's just a couple. I could do something there. Maybe I'll make it a bright one. I've got the fabric, so let's just give it a go. Maybe I'm overworking the piece now, possibly. But it's fun. So under you go, right sides together, flip the petal in and pin. There we go. Oh, I love it. I love it. That feels so textured. Okay, now the stem. What are we going to use for the stem? We need something chunky. We need something brown. Do I use that? Or do I use... I'm thinking I'll use this. There's only an opportunity really just to have it peeking through here. So I don't need much. Like literally not much. So I might just cut a little strip. Doesn't look right. No, don't like that. Let's think about leaves. Maybe this is... Leaves are big. Leaves are really big. Like, let's get the pen back. Let me push the camera up. Let's just think about this a little bit. That stem, technically, is probably off the page. So I could play with the stem, and we give the impression the stem's actually coming over here. Because down at the back of a sunflower is quite a substantial, well, it has to be to hold that head up and a pivot. I think I'm going to bring my stem over here. It's looking away. So the leaves, I could do quite a big leaf, because remember they're huge, and tuck it in under there. You know what I mean? Like, how big? Really big. Let's just chop it out. I'm liking this. I don't want to go real green. I sort of feel like it doesn't suit. We've gone a very autumn toned leaf, flower head. It's not yellow. So I think we need to grungy up the leaf as well and have that sliding through there. Now let's lift everything up very carefully so that it's out from underneath. Some of these pieces don't have pins in them, but I will now just pop, that's a big pin, get a little fine pin. I'll just sneak a couple pins through there and there. Yep, I like that. What other greens do we have? Let me just reach over here and find the greens. We've used you a lot, and I think this piece can handle you. What else have we got here? No, nothing in there. I could put probably that. I've got a hang of a mess here. Here's another green. Oh, no. I think that comes from the turquoise pack. Is there anything else over there I could use? Blues. Don't mind. Let me just bring it over. I'm reaching. There was one I spotted. That's got potential. And even, no, from a distance, that caught my eye. Anything in the blues? Nope. Oh, look, there's more gold. We could have gone down that track a bit more, but no, sunflower yellow is where we wanted to be. Let's have a look at this guy. I think he's got the potential of being a leaf that just randomly pops out from nowhere. I'll show you what I mean. Let's just get ourselves quite a fat leaf. I sort of think you are good. I don't think my stem is going to be a major feature, to be honest. I think I probably, unless I could find maybe some sari silk. Oh, the odds of finding a sari silk that I sort of feel like we could do something else with a leaf. Maybe my pieces. I don't know. I had visions of another leaf, guys. Maybe I don't need it. Maybe I layer it on that leaf. Gosh, I got some pins in this. Maybe I just do one leaf. Sari silk. I'm going to see if I can get my sari silk container. I feel like I need a stem. Oh, hello. What if I use Hessian? I just grabbed that and the sari silk. This is the sari silk I've got. A green would be good. We are breaking rules, so it could be a golden stem. Sort of suits it, doesn't it? Or we do a Hessian. You know me, I do like my Hessian. I think it's going to be Hessian. Yeah, no, I'll never use that sari silk in a million years. What I might be able to do is, because that's frayed, I might be able to position you down in there with a stitch or two. And then you come here at this angle. We've got a really unusual angle happening, but that's all good. I'm going to bring that little green leaf forward. They'll tuck in behind that so we can trim that. So I'll just couch that on, you know, with stitches to hold it. Something I was thinking too is I could bring Hessian into the flowers, but I don't know. I've got this one as well, which I haven't used. Something must have caught my eye here. Like a bit of that just to... No, don't think so. The other thing that's bugging me a bit, see this petal here? It's competing with the background. I think I need to slide him out. It's like it's getting lost. And maybe put him somewhere else. I'll just pin him up here at the moment. And I feel like I need an orange petal there. Now I'm messing with the composition of the petals again. It could mean that 16 petals get moved just to do that one little adjustment. This is the problem with this business. So if I'm hoping there's enough of a contrast between that orange one and that orange one so that that can go in there. Yeah, that's all right. I'm okay with that. That looks better. I felt like he was just too close to the leaf. I like that, and I might just let them swing a little bit from each other so we get 2 leaves for our money. But we'll keep them compact. I'm not going to come up here like I was considering. I don't think I'm going to layer anything else onto those leaves because there's enough interest and light bouncing around to be interesting. It's not like they're a plain fabric like that orange, so I don't really feel like I need to build it up. Okay, we have one stylized sunflower. So my homework will be to methodically go through with my art glitter glue. I'll start, you know, up here and just get some edges secured so they don't fray. So I'll leave them, you know, in the air to dry, but just a little dab, because there's no way I can put a stitch out there without destroying the fabric tip. So I'll just go through and catch each little tip with just a little bit of that glue. I won't be stitching every leaf down in a circular fashion, as in, you know, going around it and stitching the whole thing down. I'll be coming out along the petals, I think, and just ensuring that they are secure and don't fall out as the page turns. But minimal. It'll be all about invisible stitching, actually, more so than embroidery, which is pretty much my whole piece. I'm trying very hard to focus on the whole collaging of fabrics more so than embroidery stitches. Just creating what we need to out of what we've got here in the way of fabrics. That'll dry pretty quick. Just going to tap them down. They might as well grab the background fabric, but I'm leaving them so they're a bit bent up in the air as well, so they do look a bit fluted. Oh, I could do this all day, fiddling around. I haven't really got many plans for today. Oh, we are going for dinner. That's it. We're going to the Bowls Club for dinner. Down to the local Bowls Club. They just do such a great meal and reasonably priced. If you go into the bay, you start to get up there in price a little bit. Mind you, their rents are, you know, it's all proportioned, I guess. But at least with the Bowls Club, you're supporting a community group. And I don't know about you guys, but Bowls Clubs are struggling out there. So if we go into a town and we're looking for a meal, we sort of do look for those community groups. You just hope they got a good chef. And we are very lucky. We have a really good chef. And you go there on a Saturday night, there's up to 15 staff working in the kitchen, and you can see the kitchen from the table area, the dining area. And those kids are just working hard, and it's so good to see. I'm just touching this down as well. Just working my way around. It'll make it easier when it gets to my couch and I can stitch, which is going to be just invisible stitch. When I get back to you guys on the next video for next week, we'll investigate the chocolate thread and the chocolate stitching. Maybe we can do some petals in here that with the chocolate stitching. I don't know. I need time to ponder. So I'll go through. I haven't found him a spot, but that's fine. I need some fabric to clean off my nib. Maybe, what was I going to say? I've started concentrating on my cleaning of the nib on the glue and I've forgotten what I was going to say. No, it's gone. Doesn't matter. It's gone. Oh, the petal. Maybe we use that in the snippets. You know, I think that should appear. That should appear. We'll keep them all together. I'll film this video probably tomorrow morning, so because that way my mess is out, everything's out. I might just keep the bigger bits, and maybe we do a colour swatch. That'd look really pretty, going from the yellows and oranges through. I'll just leave those little bits to one side because you never know. The tiniest of bits suit us slow stitch girls, don't they? They're the bigger bits of the tiny bits. So yeah, maybe we do a colour palette down here. We've got a lot of air here. We do need to go back through the Tim Holtz selection and see if there's something that can be brought out in the way of, you know, text as well. So anyway, another day. Otherwise I'll start doing that as well. So there we go. There is my sunflower peeking onto the page. I feel like I need a petal here as well. It sort of feels like it's starting and finishing a little. Okay, lovely. All right, I'm going to leave you alone now. You go and play with your sunflowers and yeah, have a look at maybe changing the perspective of the sunflower. Maybe not just a blob in the center. If you want to do that, go for it. But maybe you could even, this could be a different shape, so it's looking up to the sky, you know, more of a flat look. So it's more of that look. Oh, you could do so much. All right, guys, I'm going to say goodbye. Otherwise, I will be playing forever here. Talk to you later. Bye. Okay, I'm outside now. Remember I said at the beginning of the video I had a yellow iris coming out? That's him there. He's looking a little better today. Maybe he's just not fully developed, but oh, I can see the bud of another one here. Look, there's another one. But see how the plant is just not strong looking? I'm just wondering if the soil, I don't know. Yet the purple irises in this garden are doing really well. Let me just take you over to this side. This is a purple one, but it is finishing. It's not as you know, vibrant because it's at the end of its life. But I must say the purple irises that I bought outside of that pack, this is a mixed pack. So you've got purple and you've got the yellow and you've got the white, but the pack of just purples I put in another garden bed and they were spectacular. So I don't know, just interesting. Isn't it just beautiful? Aren't you pretty? I've planted some strawberries too. Look at those. And the variety is called Ruby Red. They've got red flowers. Isn't that just gorgeous? And I've got some fruit setting, but that fruit was with the plant. So I don't know, it may not eventuate into anything. And I'll just show you, like this is just the cutest. I have a wild tomato bush and look, it is growing in the crack. Let me just come down here. Look, this is where he's that's where he's coming from. Look at Bandit's hair. He is growing out of the slitherest of spaces. I've moved a stake into position, so I'm just waiting for him to come on over and I will encourage him to come up the stake. I'll put then a second, maybe a third, and rope it off so I can trellis him. So I'm not sure. I didn't plan him. We often get birds sit on this ledge here at the back, and our neighbour 2 blocks over has an amazing vegetable garden. So I'm wondering if a bird has come from the neighbours and sat on that ledge, done his little poop, and there's been a tomato seed in there. So we have, look at Bandit Pepper chilling out. So I have no idea what, what style of tomato is, so I can't wait. Leaves are sort of telling me it's a big one, but it might be cherries. And over here, look what has popped up. Look at these. Aren't they just beautiful? We had a hailstorm and that one got snapped off, so I was like, no, he just opened, but then this guy has opened. Now these were from Mum's garden, and I planted 50 bulbs in here, and only those 2 plants took off. So the red is a bit special. I was pleased it was a red one, because whenever they flowered, these hippeastrums, Mum had sent me pictures to say the hippeastrums are flowering. So I've got 2 red ones. All of my little variegated agapanthus are coming out. These are not the standard. They're going to have a purple and pink flower. So they're starting, not purple and white flower. They're starting to come out. So they're just gorgeous. All right, I'll attach this video to the back end of I've just gone blank. Sunflower video. Look at Bandit. He's waiting at the gate. He's like, can we go for a swim, Mum? Of course we can. Let me just put this up into YouTube world, and then I'll come and get you, Bandit, and we'll go for a swim. Peppa Peach, where are you? She's not too worried. She's like, I don't feel like a swim, Mum. Hey, Peppa. It's a good girl. Here she comes. Hey, baby girl. Hey, little lady. Yeah, it's a good girl. All right, guys. Let's say goodbye from Peppa, and you know who over the fence.